Are you a thoughtful leader? Maybe you are. Maybe you think you are. Let's find out. I'm Mindy Gibbins-Klein. I'm author of The Thoughtful Leader and host of the Thoughtful Leader podcast. Thoughtful leadership is all about thought leadership that goes above and beyond. Thought leadership that is truly new and original, exciting, disruptive, maybe even groundbreaking. Because let's face it, we need to raise the bar. My guests and I are absolutely obsessed with finding truly original thought leadership, and I'm going to bring you so many exciting ideas and opportunities, things for you to think about, and chances for you to push your thinking that you'll be very glad you tuned in. So thanks so much for checking out Thoughtful Leadership and the Thoughtful Leader podcast. I look forward to connecting with you very, very soon. We all care about respect. We all know what respect means, right? You want to be respected. I'm sure you aim to respect others. The challenge comes when you confront somebody who is not exhibiting the kind of respect that you think they should be, especially towards you. Let's call it disrespect. In many cases, it's not intentional disrespect. Let's talk about the fact that most people really do have nice ethics and values. Most people know right from wrong. Most people know how they want to behave and show up in the world. However, things happen. Life happens. Circumstances create stresses and pressures. And what some people do is they react without filtering that. They take what happens to them. It creates whatever emotions go on inside. They then vent that out, in some cases saying things and doing things that they really don't want to be saying and doing. As thoughtful leaders, we look at our own behavior and our own actions and interactions all the time. I hope we do anyway. I do. And if we behave in a way that shows less than optimal respect for someone, what do we do? Well, I can only tell you what I do. I say we a lot on this podcast because I want to be inclusive. But of course, I'm not in your head. I'm not there with you. Well, I am there with you, but not really in a physical sense. Only you know how you behave. So I'll tell you what happens with me. I'm pretty self-aware. This is what's needed, of course, if you're going to be a thoughtful leader, a decent amount of self-awareness. And that means you will catch yourself doing and saying things that you don't want to be doing and saying. Right, so that bit is clear. What I do when that happens is I aim to put it right as soon as possible. Now, as soon as possible doesn't show up on the calendar. As soon as possible means, well, it means as soon as possible. It means when you recognize something, you find a way to put it right quickly. So I'm not going to say within 5 minutes, within an hour, whatever makes sense. But if you were, sorry, I'm supposed to be talking about myself, not you. If I were to be sitting with something and procrastinating a difficult discussion or being conflicted and not actually solving that situation or resolving, then it continues and things can fester. So the thoughtful leader would like to get things sorted out, as we say here in the UK, get them resolved so that we can continue to grow and contribute. That's really all we want to keep doing. So for me, back to me, I have had numerous opportunities to put things right in the past, well, in my whole life, but especially as I've worked on thoughtful leadership. And that is a blessing. It really is a great opportunity. It's very strange because some people are not used to receiving an apology. So I've now used the word apology, so I can continue by explaining that the apology is such an important gift to the other person and to yourself, of course. If you're being thoughtful and you're more conscious, more mindful, more self-aware, there are so many words for it, you will notice and you will aim to create that opportunity to apologize. The times when I haven't wanted to, well, it's been my pride or my ego or my head saying, oh, well, they might not respect me as much if I put myself in that situation. Some people think they're being a doormat. Some people think that there's a positioning thing going on. There isn't. We're all just human beings. Most of us are trying to do our best. And when we get it wrong, it's delightful to acknowledge that to ourselves and others and say, you know what, that's not really how I wanted to put that. So when I said as soon as possible, I have become very quick at recognizing things because I'm working on it, because I'm conscious, I'm working with it every day. So there'll be a conversation going on. I'll say something or in a tone of voice or whatever, the words or the tone of voice. And if I catch myself, my as soon as possible is almost immediate. I'm sorry, that didn't come out quite the way I wanted. That's a really useful phrase. I use it. If it occurs to me later, once the conversation is in the past, I aim to send a text or speak to the person and get it resolved. This is what the thoughtful leader does. This shows respect for the other person. What happens, though, if that respect is not reciprocated? Well, I don't know about you, but I find it quite hard to respect people who are disrespectful to others. It's not about me. People can disrespect me, and I do a little role play in my mind, and I figure there's something going on in their life, and I send them love and blessings. I don't know if you're familiar with that. You know, when somebody attacks you or does something to you personally, how quickly can you understand or aim to understand what's going on for them and send them love and blessings? That's a choice. I've been working on that for a long time. What happens when you see disrespect elsewhere? So, for example, online, I'm not a big fan of getting into confrontations. I don't get involved in heated debates, especially where it becomes personal. And I have zero tolerance for personal attacks on individuals or groups or anything that is showing a judgmental rather than a caring approach. That's just me. It keeps me sane. It keeps me in my bubble where I can create thoughtful content. I can have thoughtful interactions, and I can live in my state of bliss. I wanted to share that with you because you can do that too. It is hard when you look at something, let's say there's a Facebook or a LinkedIn post that attracts a lot of comments and you've got people taking sides. The word sides is interesting because if you notice it, then you notice the conflict or the potential conflict, and usually there's some disrespect. Not always. Some people are really enlightened and they know how to have thoughtful discussions, but at some point you'll see a comment and you'll think, I'm outraged about that. How could they say that? And you want to jump into the fray and you want to correct them. I think the key is not making other people wrong. This is very controversial, and I appreciate your comments as long as they're respectful. I really aim not to make someone else wrong. Their behavior is wrong, and it comes from something. They don't understand. They're not trying to understand the other person's point of view. I have my boundaries, and I have called people out, and I've done it after going into my heart, thinking about how I want to say it and when. And I have said things. I will stand up for what I feel is right. It's the way you do it. It's approaching the other person with respect, even if you feel they don't deserve it. Because you know what? We all deserve respect. As human beings, and animals as well deserve respect. I don't want to leave them out. Can you be the better person? Can you be that really thoughtful person, that thoughtful leader who shows respect to everyone and everything and rise above it somehow? I don't have all the answers, by the way. Hopefully you figured that out by now. I just like provoking conversation and thought, because of course that's what thoughtful leadership is, and we need more of it in the world, and we really need you to have a go, have a play with this idea. Respect in every situation, respect for every person, human being and other beings. Let me know how you get on, because this is not the easiest thing in the world to do, but I wanted to share these thoughts with you today because I think it's really needed in this world. And if you can be part of the solution, how great is that? See you soon. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of The Thoughtful Leader, and I hope it's inspired you to be more thoughtful as a leader in your business. Please consider subscribing and leaving a review. An important question for you. Do you want to create a culture of thought leadership in your organization? My best-selling book, The Thoughtful Leader, is available now on Amazon and many other sites in paperback, ebook, and audiobook formats. Please visit www.mindygk.com for more great content. That's www.mindygk.com. Speak to you again soon.